Rams head into Seattle to take on the Seahawks tonight after giving up 55 points in a loss to the Bucs last week. Todd Gurley only had 5 rushing attempts, but did get in the end zone twice in the loss. This season, Gurley has had 34 fewer touches and 3 fewer touchdowns compared to last season through 4 games. Gurley was noticeably agitated during his press conference with reporters. Check it out for yourself.
Is there any idea how you guys can get off the fast start in these games?
You
had a good game against Seattle last night. What do you remember about that game?
I don't remember. It was last year, so new year, new game.
How much leeway do you have alternating series? Is that a player's call or is it strictly a coach's call?
I think I've asked you asked this question before, so take the answer I gave you last time. I don't remember giving you the question either.
Interesting there from Gurley. We'll get to that. But Shannon, first, who wins tonight?
I'm taking Seattle in the close one. I'm going to say 23-16, Skip. Something isn't right with Todd Gurley. Now, we saw this. He missed the last few games of the regular season. C.J. Anderson came in and played really well, rushed for over 100 yards, well over 100 yards in both of them. I think the final 2 games had that monster game in the divisional round against your Dallas Cowboys. Now, we saw Todd Gurley get 4 carries in the NFC Championship game. We saw him get 10 carries in the Super Bowl. And then now we see him get 5 carries last week. Now, a guy that's the second highest paid running back in the NFL with that few carries, something isn't right. Now, Sean McVay can say, I got to do a better job of calling plays, but you have no job finding ways to get Jared Goff 65 throws in a game.
68.
Okay, my bad, 68 throws. So you would think you would find a way to call plays to get your bell cow. Either Todd Gurley is hurt more than they're letting on. That's the only conclusion that I can come through.
Could be.
That and Jared Goff is turning into a turnover machine.
Yep.
He leads the NFL in turnovers. And this dates back to last year because there's only been 1 game in which he didn't turn the football over, and that dates back to week 11 of last year. That's not good. And what it's doing is forcing his defense to play far too many snaps. And I don't care how good your defense is. You let your quarterback turn it over 5 times, and you see what happens to you. Now, Jared Goff has put this team in some bad positions a lot. Cleveland really should have beat him because Jared Goff was turning the ball over left and right.
Yep.
But Cleveland offensively didn't play particularly well that day, and the Rams got out of there with a victory. You get 55 points hung on you at home, that's a telling sign. That's not a good sign, Skip. And Seattle, I don't know what Russell Wilson needs to do to get the credit that he deserves. Skip, Russell Wilson's a damn good quarterback.
Oh, no argument over here.
Skip, he doesn't have a Julio. He doesn't have a D-Hop. He doesn't have a Mike Evans. He doesn't have Dallas or the Eagles offensive line. But every year, he's somewhere in the low 30s to the mid-30s in touchdown passes. And sometimes the running game works. Sometimes he has to do it by, ketchup and knit needles. I don't know how he does it, but somehow he finds a way to drag this team to the playoffs. Now, they're not the same defensive team that they were when they're in their heyday, when they were the Legion of Boom, with Wagner still there. But no Sherm, no Chancellor, none of these other guys, Bennett, those guys are not there anymore.
Yep.
But somehow, every single week, Russell Wilson have them in position to win every game. I'm not so sure, Skip. He might be the best quarterback right now in the NFC. You'd be hard-pressed to go maybe 1 or 2 players, quarterbacks, better than Russell Wilson. I'm not so sure Russell Wilson is not a top 5 quarterback right now. I'm going on record. Yeah, he's a top 5 quarterback. He's good as it gets. And so I'm going to take Seattle at home. We know what that building represents. That crowd is in a frenzy. It's a night game.
Yep.
They don't normally lose night games, be it Thursday night, Monday night, or Sunday night in that building. I'm taking them in a close one, 23-16. Russell Wilson pulls it out.
By the way, just for the record, Dak Prescott beat Russell Wilson head-to-head in a playoff game just last playoffs, just last year.
So let me ask you,
just for the record.
I just want, so in other words,
I mean, after you put him at the top, put him on the pedestal,
Fair.
I have to remind you what happened.
how many general managers you think right now would take Rain, Dakota Prescott over Russell Wilson.
Depends how smart they are.
No, you could be Einstein, and you ain't taking Prescott over Russell.
I'm just stating a fact. My quarterback outplayed that quarterback.
He did not outplay.
He did. You look at the QBR, 74-70. He did. And who made the play of the game, albeit with his legs? Remember that play? We don't have to see it. No, we don't want to see it. Okay, so here's my counterpoint to everything you said. I actually went to bed last night thinking, God, the Rams are just a troubled football team. There's just no way they can go to Seattle on a Thursday night, short week of prep. Todd Gurley just blasted the league after the game the other day.
Yeah.
And
He didn't lie. It is dumb.
yeah, it's the dumbest thing ever. And I'm thinking, okay, you're supposed to be a leader of your team, and you're going to play whether you like it or not.
Yes.
And if you publicly call it the dumbest thing ever, then you're going to plant seeds of doubt in everybody's mind in the locker room who reads or hears that quote, right?
Yep.
And it's going to be like, God, we can't get ready for this game because you just can't physically get back up for a game in 3 days, especially when you have to fly all the way up to Seattle, right? Okay. Here's my issue with your game pick. I started looking harder at what Seattle has done so far this year. I'm not sure I'm seeing a powerhouse. I do have nothing but respect for that quarterback. He is really good. I'm starting to think he's mostly the whole show.
Oh, he's
they got Carson going, and listen,
got Lockett.
little Tyler Lockett. He is a bad little man. He is hard to deal with. But let's look at their results so far. They beat the Bengals 21-20 in their opener at home. You saw the Bengals on Monday night.
Yeah.
You impressed?
No.
No, not really. Then they go to Pittsburgh, and Ben goes out again after that New England debacle and tries to throw with what obviously was a torn ligament in his elbow. And after a quarter, he just said, I can't do it. So Mason Rudolph gets thrown into the fire, and they hang in, and they made it. It was 28-26 Seattle. So it's not like Seattle didn't just blew them out, right? And then Teddy Bridgewater goes up to Seattle for his first start, New Orleans. And do you realize New Orleans led that game 33-14 with 4 minutes left, and then Russell staged like a near miraculous comeback, got it to 33-27, but still it was 33-14 with 4 minutes left in the game. Is Seattle a powerhouse?
No, by no stretch.
Okay, Seattle lost both games last year in the division to the Rams. They were close games, but they lost 2 close games. So I'm looking at what just happened to the Rams. Obviously, they were 3-0 because they had pulled off a win at Cleveland, and it was 20, like you said, 2013. It could have gone either way. Baker threw it in the end zone to that backup tight end, the 6'7" kid, and got it up around his hands, and Rapp got his hand up and knocked it away, right? Okay, so what happened this past Sunday? This is what happened to me. If you don't take Tampa Bay seriously, they got firepower on that team. That's a talented football team.
They got some offensive weapons, Skip.
Hey, I saw on Bleacher Report the other day, they ranked as a duo, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, as the best receiving duo in the National Football League as a twosome.
Really?
Wow. Okay. Well, is that okay? That's highly debatable, but they went there. And Tampa Bay, if you let that, remember, that was 21-0 they got up. So Todd Gurley's, he's out of the game plan at 21-0, I think. I don't know how you can justify. So he winds up with, 5 carries for 16 yards.
But he did end up having 7 catches, so you got to use him in that aspect.
You got to use him there, and I agree with you. But if Jameis just doesn't throw it to the other team, he can really throw it to his team. And he has been all year. And Bruce Arians is a really good football coach.
He is a very good offensive coach.
And he can coordinate an offense. We know that. And I think he's a pretty good head coach of the team.
I think he's a good motivator.
Okay? But the reason the Rams weren't up for the game is Jameis and company had just lost to Daniel Jones in his first NFL start at Tampa, albeit on a little chip shot field goal that he just missed. He just pushed it to the right. Or we're having a different story about Daniel Jones.
That is correct.
Right? So, again, they didn't take Tampa seriously. I was kidding with our man, Eric Dickerson, the Ram ambassador, and I said, you guys got a bye this week. And that was when he was here last week. And he said, well, you guys have had, Cowboys, 3 byes so far. Well, you can make that case also. But Tampa ended up not being a bye, but maybe it was a bye in the Rams' minds. Because the scary part of it to me, not beyond Todd Gurley, was the defense gave up 48 to Jameis and company. 48? Wade Phillips' defense?
Skip, when you have the turnovers and the short fields, let's just say Tampa drives the ball, say 8 plays, 9 plays, and gets a touchdown. And then you come out on the field as an offense, your defense goes off the field. And in 1 or 2 plays, you're back on the field as a defense. You're tired. You're worn down.
All right.
Skip, you can't turn the ball. Look, this is not they're not, look, I'm not going to fool anybody. The Rams are not playing good defensive football right now. They're not. So when you're not, you definitely can't put them back out there. Now is your time to take some time off the clock and put the ball in the end zone and give them a break. Not put them back on the field because you've just thrown an interception.
Jared Goff just turned it over like a wild man.
He's a turnover machine, Skip.
He is. And I agree. And it's hard to overcome that, even though he went up throwing 68 passes for 517 yards.
The third most in a loss. Okay. Marino and Matthew Stafford only had more.
Okay. And if somebody can explain to me across the table how a defense featuring Aaron Donald, the best player in the world, says somebody, the best player in the NFL, how can that defense give up 48? I don't know. Did he take Sunday off? I don't know.
I think so.
Well, Skip, there you go.
Well, I'm just asking. This is not a...
Well, hold on. It also have Aqib Talib. You see Marcus Peters? I mean, he was Mike Evans had like 150. Yeah. You say the best duo, wide receiver duo is Goodwin and Mike Evans. Break the tight end can make plays.
He can.
They got guys that can make plays offensively.
And they can run it. They got a 2-headed little monster going.
As long as Jameis throws the ball to the guys in his uniform.
I agree.
And not the guys in the other uniform.
Remember, he let Daniel Jones have fairy tale life in the game. The previous week, he threw a late interception that just reopened the door for the Giants.
Yep.
And Daniel Jones literally ran through that door.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm just saying this defense is not that bad.
No.
And this is a big